Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. George Sparks, and this is Biblical Archaeology from the Ground Down, sponsored by Bible Interact. Just a heads up on what to expect on Biblical Archaeology from the Ground Down. We have a number of lectures coming on a podcast. This one's Dr. Bobby Sparks out of Texas, no PhD, no relative. He's going to be speaking on his book, The Exodus. And I believe his Exodus, there's two different a late date and an early date time dates for the Exodus that are popular. One's the 18th dynasty of Egypt, another one's 19th dynasty. So this will be interesting. Also, he's going to be talking on his understanding and belief on the Millennium Church, and that's Dr. Bobby Sparks. Also, we have Dr. David Graves, PhD, and he has, I just picked up 6 books of his. Look at the size of this. This is like an inch and a half. And this one's Biblical Archaeology. And we'll be looking at the different types of excavations and also some of the latest finds, which will be really, really cool. And this is Biblical Archaeology. Also, he wrote a book. The next podcast, hopefully, it's going to be this coming Tuesday. For the last 15 years, Dr. David Graves has been excavating at Tel El Hammam with Trinity Southwest University, which they believe to be Sodom and Gomorrah. The last podcast, he gave some reasons for this, but he also wrote this nice book included titled The Location of Sodom, and just tons and tons of information and pictures. And we're going to be talking about the location of Sodom and why he thinks it's Sodom. And lately I've been getting questions, and we're going to go. I already gave him the heads up, so it's not going to be a sneak attack on Dr. David Graves. I gave him a heads up on the questions that people are asking about why particular this location for Sodom, and why not, southwest of the Dead Sea or southeast of the Dead Sea, such as the popular site Numira and Babadra. So that's going to be very, very interesting. 15 years there, also a PhD. And then we have a new book that just came out, and this is Dr. Robert Cargill. I'm very excited to read this. This is more of a critical view. Now, critical does not mean mean. Critical means really seriously academic. All right. And this is a really cool one. It's called Melchizedek, King of Sodom. Well, wait a minute. Isn't he supposed to be, is he King of Sodom or the Prince of Salim? He's going to give us his explanation on this. Hopefully, we get in touch with him. And he's going to be talking about his book, The King of Sodom. And he also wrote another book. It's entitled Cities That Built the Bible. And that's going to be interesting as well. Dr. Cargill was also an editor for Biblical Archaeological Review. And he's a professor, and we can't wait. Hopefully, we get him soon, because this is going to be very, very cool. Hey, the last topic that I was reading about, this was kind of interesting. This was on worldliness in our modern day church, or as some would call it, are the churches today developing into temples of entertainment rather than a place of learning? And that's an interesting question, is it not? In this, it was a small, I guess, a poll, a tally, and I'm not going to give you the whole thing. It would be kind of boring for time's sake. But anyway, average Christians read their Bibles how many times? How many times do you think the report said? Now we got a professing like a 1.5, 150 million Christians in the United States, something like that, I believe. And out of that, not entirely, you could say the poll was, I don't know how many churches were involved in this, but I guess it was in kind of intense. And it says that Christians, on the average, will read their Bibles, actively read their Bibles a couple times every 5 years. Every 5 years. That's amazing. The second one is, I thought was very, very interesting. Tom, what is the percentage of churches out there, do you think, on their or during their services, their sermons, do not include any scriptures. In other words, sermons that are ministered to the congregation, they do not contain any scriptures whatsoever. What percentage out there do you think? Actually, it's 20%. That's what it said. And I thought that was unreasonably high. And I mentioned that to my wife. And she actually attends, I'm not going to mention names, but one of the biggest churches here in New Mexico. Of course, that's not looking at Catholicism, the Catholics. This is just your other denominationals or freelance churches. And she was telling me that one of the most popular churches that she attends, and my son, I guess it was the elders that requested that the pastor includes scriptures in sermons. What do you think? That close to home, too. I thought that was amazing. So, are churches today becoming temples of entertainment? Are the churches imitating the world? My question to you is, what would happen when our churches start to imitate the world so much that you can't tell the difference of whose entertainment it is? Is it the world's type of entertainment, or is the church's type of entertainment? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to react to this little podcast when your pastor makes fun of your grandma at church. When your pastor makes fun, and it's by filmmaker Chase Walker. And I think you're going to find this interesting, but I think it does make a point in a way. Okay, does our churches, or are the churches nowadays becoming temples of entertainment, and doing so imitating more of the worldly style of entertainment? Makes sense. All churches take offerings, but usually you don't harass people. And
oh, come
okay,
on,
this
bro,
is the takeoff of
I know we got a train
Will
short.
Smith.
You can put some more money in that.
Yeah.
Come on, yeah.
That's pretty good, don't you say? All right. A world view. I guess a church filmmaker, Chase Walker, an imitation of Chase. That's pretty good.
I can't believe I just got slapped in front of the congregation. Keep my grandmama's name out your mouth. I will. Keep my grandmama's offering amount out your mouth. I will.
I think we get the point. What do you think? Are today's churches becoming temples of entertainment? Remember to like and subscribe, and also give us your views. Thank you very much. This is Dr. George Sparks, and have a great day.